In this chapter, we look at the use of a local landmark or a series thereof to create a visual identity for a city. Porto, Portugal. The challenge presented was very clear. The city needed a visual system, a visual identity that could organize and simplify communication with its citizens, and could at the same time define a clear hierarchy, bringing together the city and the city hall. We needed to represent Porto, a global city, the city for everyone, says designer Eduardo Ares. And he continues, looking at Porto from an aesthetic point of view, we found the inspiration we were looking for. The blue tiles spread all across the city. Inspired by the stories in the tiles, we developed more than 70 geometric icons that represented the city and its people. And this is how it translated into a unique icon language. And of course, more patterns, creating patterns out of the city patterns. An incredibly beautiful design language, in my eyes, a fantastic system for an incredibly beautiful city. Here is a close-up of some of the different inspirational tiles that are always in their distinct blue color to be found across the city. And here's how it panned out from posters all the way to official buildings. Porto used its local visual language. They amplified it and then they made it into their brand identity. Paris, I know you came to expect the Eiffel Tower, and we will give just that to you. So until I reveal the logo to you, just envision the word Paris in the Eiffel Tower and see how that pans out in your mind. Using or not the symbol of the Eiffel Tower was our first question. We went for simplicity and concentrated our efforts on a typographic design that can be seen as a Parisian skyline, the drawing of the A directly evoking the Eiffel Tower. The result is a minimalist typogram. And here it is. It is so playful, you just feel like you're sitting in an outdoor cafe in Paris. Now, the logo you may have had in mind might have looked more like the old one, as pictured to the left. And that, may I note, is the power of great brand identity design. You take away as much as you can. And they did. And it's still being 100% Paris, while adding an extra layer of playfulness to it that is still not unsophisticated. Looking at it rolled out, you can see how the Paris type forward logo is a fully integrated part of the playful identity design. And one that feels nicely balanced to attract visitors and yet satisfying Parisians alike. So yes, you can actually use a monument in a way that looks fresh. From a city the world knows to one that has a goal of being a little bit more well known. Kaposvár in Hungary. First, we developed a city branding strategy and pinned down the important points of identity. The logo design is based on the visuals of the city center. The branding is centered on the Kaposvár-born painter Josef Ripple-Ronay, who is one of the greatest Hungarian painters, says Miklos Kiss, the designer behind this project. And here is a sneak peek of the city center and the brand mark on the top left. And here's the painter winking at you in a strange way. And here's the letter form K, which is being crafted out of the skyline that you see on the bottom left and the city square on the top left. And that's how the icon next to the typographic treatment of Kaposvár came about. While, of course, the famous painter's work became a part of the visual identity, adding character and some flair. It also adds a unique and very ownable color to the visual brand identity of the city. The brand celebrates its local pulls while coming across as forward-looking and stylish. Sometimes even having an eye on sophistication, mixing both inspirations, so the local features, so to speak, from the painter to the actual skyline and the logo, and it is doing so in creative and unique ways. An identity that clearly lends itself to iconography and all the way to street signage. So, from Porto via Paris to Caposvar, it is possible to lean into the obvious landmarks to create clarity for a more global audience.